Cutthroat Barbell Club, and I just want to put this video together to teach you guys how to properly use straps. We're also going to cover the different types of straps that you'll find in your weightlifting facility. Okay, so these are the two types of straps you'll typically see athletes use. On the left is the loop through option, where you see a piece of the fabric is run through a hole on the other side of the fabric. And then over here we have these kind of semi-modified straps. Basically it looks like the athlete took just a piece of belt that they bought at a local Army supply store, and they tape the two ends together. A third variation on these two types of straps is something it's called an open-ended strap or a Klokov strap. I don't have those, unfortunately, but I can show those in a later video if need be. They're very similar to this, except they don't have an additional loop on this side. It looks exactly like this, and they are a personal favorite of mine, so I'm kind of bummed that don't have them. But these are the two that you'll typically see at your facility. And to properly use the strap, I'm going to run my hand up and through the strap so it sits on my wrist like this, not the opposite way around, because we want to go up and underneath the barbell when we first wrap the strap around it. So up and through, and then, if you guys can see this, once we get to the barbell, this is going to go up underneath this piece. We're going to wrap it around with our hand. Once, twice, depends how long your strap is, depends how much you want to hold on to. And then you can kind of shimmy your hand, twist your hand backwards to tighten the strap on your wrist. You want the strap to be nice and tight on your wrist so you don't lose grip if we are using it for a higher volume complex or a heavy pulling exercise. A quick note on bailing with straps. The easiest way to think about it is simply, if the bar goes behind me or goes in front of me where I don't want it to and I need to bail, all my fingers come off the bar, I release the bar out of my hand, and I pull the strap away by moving my arm. Sometimes, if we're not taught to bail properly, athletes will keep the strap wrapped around the bar, they'll pull, and as soon as the bar goes the wrong direction, they're supposed to bail, they hold onto it, and end up, it can result in a really catastrophic injury if they are unable to get out of the strap. So remember, strap goes around the bar. After the strap goes around the bar goes the direction we don't want it to, we need to bail. Fingers come off. We pull the strap away by moving it on. So one of the tough things about using straps is that you do have two hands. You are able to do one side using both hands to help you get the strap nice and tight. The unfortunate thing is that after that hand is strapped in, it's hard to pull it over to get the other hand set. So one hand usually has to be done by itself. The way that I do it, I mean, it's going to depend on every athlete's preference. I'm right hand dominant, so I like to get my right hand strapped in first. It's just a nature of habit. I use my left hand to pull the strap up underneath, wrap it around, pull my right hand over, shimmy out to my position to get it nice and tight, and then I take this hand and I actually put it out at position, pull the strap up underneath with my hand, and twist my hand to tighten the straps. So straps are a great tool that every athlete should have in their toolbox, especially in terms of training where you're going to have a higher amount of high volume complexes, so you're doing triples or even fives from a hang position, or you have 10 sets of doubles at a higher percentage. Another example of where they're useful too is if your programming calls for a lot of overloaded pulling, and the goal is to basically get you to hold position, use your legs at a heavier percentage than what you're going to normally do during your working sets, and we don't want fatiguing hands to become an issue. Straps, for as good of a tool as they are though, there is a point to where they can become relied on too much, and we want to encourage athletes to not use them to build grip strength. It's all going to depend on the athlete though, and I kind of already mentioned this in the article. One area that I mentioned in the article that the strap should not be used is when you're doing turnover specific drills, much like a muscle snatch. This is one of my biggest pet peeves as a coach, because the purpose of a muscle snatch drill or a drill like that is to build turnover, get the athlete to understand how to pull the bar properly and turn the bar over actively. And when they're done with straps, it becomes more of it's a completely different turnover. You're really not forced to hold onto the bar and actively turn the bar over with your fist because the strap is already there to prevent you from losing it. So the big point here is straps are a great tool to have, but like any other piece of equipment like knee sleeves, belts, knee wraps, wrist wraps, things along those lines, don't rely on them because when you're going to need them the most, they really aren't going to be there. So use straps. I encourage you to use straps, but at the same time, be cautious. If you need an opinion on how to use them, always ask your coach. Otherwise, follow the points we laid out in the article.